Finally. And what's today? Sunday? Am I here live here in the Boneyard, man. I want to welcome two very special guests, man. We have a repeat guest. He's going to help us co-host tonight, and we'll start with you. Introduce yourself, man, again, and then we'll go around the circle.
I'm Rob from Storm the Empire and of Enigma, and I am Monsieur Brandon's manager. So we'll let Zach introduce himself and do his thing because he's got a story.
I'm Zach,
Yeah.
and I'm a solo instrumental artist based out of Vancouver, and newly working under the management of Enigma, which I'm super happy to say, moving up in the world.
Right?
Yeah.
Life is
No, that's
good.
exciting, man. How's that feel then? Like to have management now all of
It
a
fe-
sudden and
it feels like the ball's finally rolling after years I've spent on trying to get my project going. It all started with GarageBand on my iPhone at home on Bowen Island back in like 2014, and and then I just kept on writing little demo things and thought maybe I can do something with these someday. And then once I started actually recording, was putting them out there, and now with the help of Rob and Norm and those guys, maybe maybe this stuff can finally be taken to the stage, and I can actually, we can actually make something of this.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's fantastic, man. Like, especially now that the world's kind of opening up, I guess it's kind of a good time for you to be releasing getting your stuff out there about this time because I know everybody's craving live music, just dying,
Big time.
So,
Yeah,
you
no, for
guys
sure.
have many venues that like survive that you guys can play at and stuff.
We
In
were looking
Vancouver,
around, right?
yeah, I've been looking around at venues in Vancouver, and I know that we were down there last weekend doing a shooting for a documentary, and we had a bunch of bands on there, and Zach was actually on there. And
Oh, nice.
we found out that club, what is it, 340 is shut
Pub
down.
340.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pub 340 is shut down, and then like the 333, which is a huge all ages venue, apparently is shut down as well. So a lot of venues have closed, but we went to a live show on Saturday last week, and it was packed, like a little bar
Yeah,
show. It was awesome. We got to see Stickman and
yeah,
what were they called? They were
Calm like a
a
bomb.
Calm Like a Bomb. Yeah, they're a
They
Rage Against
they
the Machine
were
cover
they were
band.
super fun to watch.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
had the they
Apparently
had the attire just worked out great.
yeah, and
yeah,
their
that's
guitar player
awesome.
almost killed himself.
Yeah, that was like nerve-wracking, but so cool at the same time. They were playing Bulls on Parade, and the guitarist had an exact, like to a T, replica of Tom Morello's guitar. And he
Oh
gets up and he
wow.
starts he starts doing the scratching solo, and he gets his leg up on the chair, on one of the tables, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then and then and then little did I know he was only using the chair as a stepping stone to get up onto the table, and the
Oh,
table is kind of flimsy, and he's ripping the scratching solo, just killing it, and the table's shaking a bit, and I'm just like, oh no. And then he gets back down after he finishes the solo and jumps right back into the riff, and I'm just like, these guys are hardcore. I love that.
Right.
that's awesome to see that. To
Yeah.
see that
It was
stage presence, like that's fantastic.
They
yeah.
made a bar feel like a festival,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak.
Yeah. No, it was really funny. It felt good to have my ears blasted to the point where I had
Hmm.
ears ringing after the show. I missed that.
Yeah.
Or like I
Missing.
was I was packing up gear and I'm like listening to all the people outside smoking, rambling, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I missed the outside smoke
That.
banter."
Yeah.
Like I forgot how much I missed that little thing of live performances alone, you know? I'm like, "Oh my god." It's so nice to see things opening up.
It is though, man. Like, yeah, I got to go to a small little show. Kind of, they were doing a live stream. The Soul Cats were on this one out of Hamilton, there, the Hamilton Music Guild or whatever. And I got invited down. And when I first got there, the guy didn't recognize me at first, right? And he's like, "No, that's a closed session, man. No one's allowed in, right?" And then he comes back like 2 seconds later. He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, man. No, you're cool. Like, come on in." I didn't know it was a closed session. Like in the bar, I couldn't even buy beers because they were technically weren't open or anything. Like, but it was good to see live music, man. They played it. Their saxophone player just killed it, man.
I watched a band last night out of Vancouver. It's Rock and Roll Pride. Support the Scene's hosting Rock and Roll Pride for last night and tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And they had 10 bands on last night, and I think they have 10 bands on tonight. But the last band, Rain City. I don't know if you've seen them, Zach. They're from Vancouver.
Yeah, I know.
Dude.
I went to school with the drummer.
Dude, the drummer's fucking hilarious, eh? But the band in themselves, so groovy, man. Like,
They're pretty sweet. I've seen them a few times
was
live.
like, she's just fucking killing it.
Yeah,
and I'm like watching. I'm just like zoned out on the bass because it was just like it felt like it was just bass solos every song.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
wow,
so good. But they have a sax player, and that was what kind of made me jump to
that. Yeah, it was so nice to hear a saxophone, and the dude just ripped out some saxophone solos and shit. Like he would look sort of like you on the bass player. That's something I didn't see very much. You know, you don't see that all the time, man. So
yeah.
when he's rocking it, you gotta watch, right?
Yeah, I forgot how much I enjoyed just watching a show.
Mm-hmm.
Like I definitely took it for granted. And then like going to like a small bar show, I was like, holy fuck, I miss this so much.
Mm-hmm. Even sitting on a patio and just having a beer with your buddies. How long has it been since you done that, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I think
just in time for summer too, eh?
Right? Yeah, no, it's so true. It's a good feeling to be back out now. It's weird though. It was really weird to like see a bunch of different people a lot in person.
This is slightly off topic, but I think well, that's not really off topic at all, but I think a metal venue, or at least a venue that's very popular for local metal bands and touring metal bands, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the Rickshaw Theater's still open. That's one. I don't know if you checked that one out.
Yes, the Rickshaw, I believe, is still open. That's a wicked venue.
That's an awesome, super sick venue. It's a small, it used to be a movie theater, I think.
Yep.
And I've been there quite a few times to see some incredible acts. I think I've seen Tesseract there, I saw Pliny there, I saw Intervals. Great venue.
That's sick. I'd love to see Pliny.
Yeah, no, you got it. I've seen him about 3 times, and it's always just every time I see him, it's like a little bit. It's like 10% more awesome every time.
That's awesome to hear, though. Like,
if you listen to Pliny or like Calypia and stuff, that's kind of the same style that Zach plays. I wish that we could like show you what he plays because it's fucking incredible. He's I don't know, man. His mind works on a different level than anybody else I've ever seen.
It's certainly complicated but fun stuff to play and write. But there's not the world's biggest market for it, but whatever.
No, right? But it's the passion that people put into that brings the people around. Whether it's a small select few of like diehard fans, you know, or if it's just random people that listen to you now and again, right? Like,
no, it's true.
You think about it, like you're diverse in a lot of music that you listen to. Like, what are you listening to these days then, as far as music goes?
As far as music goes, I think it's lately what I've been listening to is not at all the stuff that I'd write. I've been listening to a lot of pop music actually. and I find that the more and more that I listen to modern contemporary pop music, is that there's a lot of dynamic similarities in modern metal with that genre as well. Just because, like, the production is always something that's constantly evolving, and a lot
Mhm.
of a lot of a lot of like gent or progressive metal bands that are from today, or the last few years at least, use some of those like production ideas. Like, you hear bass drops in metal now and stuff like that, and that was stuff that you'd hear, I guess, in like electronic music like EDM and dubstep and whatever. So it's kind of interesting to hear some of those things bleed over. It's kind of, it's becoming less of a genre thing, and it's like a mosaic of ideas. And it's like, what genre
Yeah.
is this? I don't know.
It's music.
Yeah. How do you describe that? Like,
Yeah.
why would you want to be in a genre anyways? It's supposed to be music, it's,
Hmm.
in that sense, like, it's good or it's not. It
Yeah.
depends on who you are. I know the guys here at work, a lot of them don't let me listen to like the stuff I listen to. It's just too heavy for them. Like, they just don't get it, right? But they listen to all like classic rock. A couple of the guys are musicians. They'll actually be all on the show this coming Wednesday. We're
Oh,
gonna go
wicked.
down to the pub and have them on and have a few pints, right? And,
That's wicked.
uh,
I posted
there's a,
some of Zach's
oh,
music in the comment feed if
Oh yeah,
anybody's
there it
interested.
is. Yeah.
oh, nice. I can't really see the comments. I'm on my phone, being
We
that I'm
have,
way up here in fucking Thunder Bay.
right, complete opposite side of Canada.
Yeah.
No, it's yeah, it's hard to describe because his music style, it would be perfect for like video games and stuff. Like it just you
Boss
fall
battle music, right?
right, yeah, like exactly. You like get so lost into it, you drift. I like Animals as Leaders. If you've ever listened to Animals as Leaders, it's a lot like that, where and Zach does all the instruments himself. That's the crazy part.
I
So
was
everything you hear, he does himself,
Except
which
for the
is
gonna get into
drums.
mind-blowing.
that
Yeah,
actually.
except for the drums, but I mean, still programming your drums to that capability is insane.
I've
Mhm.
I've
What up,
heard some
Kevin?
pretty well programmed drums before. I'm just trying to keep up with some people that I've heard that I either know personally, or I look up to. Um, I've heard some pretty stellar drum programming and just some really great, super well produced stuff from people that I've either met at NAMM, or people that I like have looked up to for a number of years. And I'm just kind of trying to keep my head above water. Because there's some pretty
I
crazy
hear
stuff.
that, right?
There's some pretty crazy stuff
Yeah.
that's coming out, and I'm just trying to take inspiration from that and try and do the genre justice, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I guess you could say,
So
if you
like,
were to, sorry, what?
no, I was just gonna say, are you planning on doing some videos then? Now that you guys have teamed up with the
Absolutely.
production team that you hit,
I
Yes.
I I, I
technically.
think I think this is like the next big stepping stone for this project, because
Hmm.
I would like it to go from being, a homemade thing, to actually being something where it's like, okay, here's the brand name, there's now a production team, and it just creates so many more capabilities and just so much more potential. It's like, oh, maybe we can actually have like a music video that's not me in my bedroom with a tapestry behind me and just a bunch of
Yeah.
still camera angles. That's the best I can do right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that the next music video could be something that's like actually a music video, not
Yeah,
like,
like
Mhm.
storyboarded.
Yeah, you know, something that's like actually going to be fun to watch, um, and something with real drums and uh, and maybe more production ideas, all that stuff.
Mhm.
I'm
I know
super
for
No, it's
optimistic.
awesome that you're thinking outside the box like that. Like you're looking at the bigger picture and
oh
not
yeah,
just about, oh, how many CDs am I going to sell? Well, you're not even worried
Yeah,
about that. You're already on to production teams and having,
yeah.
thinking about how to the next step, right? Like
one of
now,
the
do you
big
have
things
merch
we're working on that right
other
now.
than like,
Actually,
are you? Oh,
yep,
okay.
we'll be
Yeah.
working on his online store and merch this week, and
Excellent.
I'm working on for his live performance to have it as like a whole experience. So I'd like to have like a visual aspect to what he does too. So whether that's like
Mm-hmm.
projecting images on top of the band that he plays with, what up, brother? Or if it's just colors and lights, you know what I mean? I just want to do something visual because I think it deserves it. His performance it's an all inclusive experience, you know what I mean? Like you have
Yeah.
to fall into it and you will fall into it. So you may as well do it on the
You
best aspect
will
possible, right?
you will love it.
Yeah.
You will. No, for sure. Like honestly, it's not even just a musician standpoint looking at it and being like, holy shit, you're talented, but like what you play is like the modern day it's the modern day symphonies, you know what I mean? You're doing it with a guitar though. So it is like listening to like a Beethoven piece or a Mozart piece, but it's done with an electric guitar and some
That's a
slap
Mm-hmm.
pretty
bass.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
fucking
some
incredible.
lots of slap bass.
Yeah, no, it
That's the
sounds
other
dope.
thing. I there are yeah, I definitely plan on hiring a real bassist and not my fake ass. I mean, I try to do the slap bass thing justice, but I just don't think that like my ideas are what a bass player would do. Maybe some people can dig it, but I'm trying to that's like again, like I'd like it to be almost like a team and not just me with my homemade
Mm-hmm.
project. Like, hey guys, here's this thing I made. It's okay. I'd like it to be something that's like, here's something that like yeah, it has my name on it, but like this is something that's the work of more than just myself. It's like it's a production. It's awesome. It's like
Yeah.
Rob said, like an experience. It's a show, you know.
Hmm. I think that's what's lacking nowadays. You know what I mean? A lot of people just kind of step on a stage and expect people to love them because they're playing an instrument. And I mean, yeah, people will love you, but it's also cool to give them a little more. You know what
A
I mean?
full
Like,
on experience,
yeah,
a
like,
complete idea in that
yeah,
aspect
exactly.
then.
Um, like you'll see in September when you have Tales from the Oracle on, when you get to meet them, like they
Yeah.
have entire suits, like they've got masks, and their live performance will be an amazing thing to see because of that. You know what I mean? It'll separate them from the rest of the bands. You know what I mean? You won't forget them,
Mm-hmm.
and that's because they're giving you just that little bit more, and that's kind of what I look for in the bands that I'm signing and the artists
Yeah.
that I work with is because they are. It's weird, hard to say because you don't want to say more talented or more hardworking, but you know they have just that little bit of edge that I see that I can push
That,
and like we can grow with. So I find it
yeah.
very every band that I've signed so far is different completely. Like
I
Zach's
once
heavy.
I once heard from someone the first thing an audience hears is how you look.
It's very
Like
true.
they're
Yeah, that's very true. Like,
they're gonna judge your appearance. Like are you gonna show up to the gig in jeans and a stained t-shirt, or are you gonna show up with like an outfit, you know?
Yeah.
Are
mm-hmm.
you gonna be color coordinated, or is there some kind of aesthetic to
A
it?
theme to the show itself, right? Like,
Yeah.
Hmm.
I've noticed that a lot with the bands. Like, you see guys that just come up in their jeans and t-shirts and then they just fucking jam. And it's like, that was all right, right? But then you get the other guys like when we seen Raven Black, who will be on the show here, I think in a week or two, and Wednesday 13, I think they were. Both of them having a fantastic stage performance, man. They're all out. They have their if you look up Raven Black there, she did like whips and hula hoops while she's fucking doing the show. Everyone's in costume, right? Wednesday 13, that guy's trippy to watch. He's got like glow in the dark paint on, wears a backwards mask and creeps around the stage while he's singing and shit. It's fucking crazy.
I mean, I mean, you look at the top 5 greatest bands that have sold the most tickets. All of them have gimmicks. From Ozzy biting off a bat head, or pissing on the Alamo. You got Alice Cooper, you got Kiss, Rob Zombie. You know what I mean? Like they've all got a gimmick. Even the Stones had a gimmick. Yeah, Rammstein has one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not technically like you have to have a gimmick, but it is nice to like. I don't know. I don't like, for example, I don't dress up anytime unless I'm on stage. I don't care about how I look unless I'm on stage. I want to be presentable because it's a job. I'm being paid to do this. I may as well be professional because I have seen bands that like show up in like sweatpants and stuff, and you're like, bro, like,
socks and sandals.
Right? I mean, that's the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not wear socks and sandals. And I break it all the time. Right?
That could be the aesthetic for my band. We all wear Crocs.
Dude, totally. The drummer will
there
have
you go,
to,
right?
Right? When you get to the double kick, like video footage of the double kick and just see Crocs, like everyone's just gonna fucking die laughing.
That would be great.
Right? So good. It's a cool thing. Like
that's awesome.
Because things are opening up now, I'm slowly getting towards booking shows, and I have a venue in Penticton that I can do all ages at, which is kind of what I want to focus on. Is all ages shows because, I mean,
allows everyone to come now.
Yeah, like music isn't just for a certain age. Like I never understood that. So I'm trying to look at some in Vancouver and some in Kelowna, and that's kind of what I want to push for is that, because I know that everyone's hopping on the bar train again. But the bar train wasn't good at the beginning, like, and it was never a good place to perform at when you're only getting door or like $100 guarantee when you drove like 7 hours. So it's just kind of not logical.
Beer.
Yeah, and even that they're like you can have one beer, right? And they hand you like a fucking Paps or something. So
1 beer and 2 fries.
Yeah, you can have fries and a beer. That's your payment. And I mean, like, realistically, if you think about it, that's kind of like slave wages. Like, here's your food. Do your job. It's like, no.
Here's 1 beer. A fucking Paps.
So I think that, like, the documentary that we were filming last weekend, we ended up having a lot of incredible artists on with all different stories, all different backgrounds, but they all had the same problem. The one problem before COVID was the exact same from every band, and that was getting people in the door. There's a huge lack of support for live music nowadays from the crowd. A lot of the times it's bands playing for bands. So that's kind of, I think that
a lot of it breaks down to your local scene. Like, support your local bands, man. Get out, see who's in your area, buy their merch, listen to their music, man. And then they'll make money to be able to go on tour, because it costs money to go on tour, man. Like,
yeah, no, I found 4 bands out of Vancouver I never heard of yesterday that I fell in love with, just from getting to watch the live stream that Jade put on. I was astonished. Like, Rain City is one of them. Parlor Panther, incredible 2-piece. Like, I was completely mind blown at the sound that they create as a 2-piece with a guitar, a bass, and keyboards, and a drum machine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you ever listen to Phanogram, they sound like Phanogram.
Okay.
Which is really cool. And then I can't remember the names of the bands. I have the lists. I think this is the list right here. It
Oh
is.
yeah. Probably
Club
two eggs,
Sofa was really
three
good
bacon.
too, and
Oh
Space
yeah.
Queen. Space Queen had like
Space Queen?
amazing. Yeah, they're called Space Queen, and they're like a 3-piece. They had amazing harmonies. So it's cool to see like all these
Huh.
different styles and bands from like the scene that I kind of have like dealt with forever.
Hmm.
So there's some incredible music out there. So it needs to get out there, and that's kind of why I wanted. Like Zach was one of the first people I ever interviewed when I started doing like created Enigma, and we
Oh,
stayed in
that's
contact.
awesome.
And we stayed in contact, and I just his music kind of has stuck with me, and I listen to it almost every day, like as a fan because I
Yeah.
love the album. His latest album's incredible, and I think that I genuinely think that being able to get these artists out there in any way that we can is the best thing possible.
Hmm.
Because there's
No, I
a
agree. That's why I started doing this webcast deal here. I do, right?
mhm,
Originally, my first band I ever technically interviewed, I believe, was in Arizona. And it was No Paradise. They were the first ones to say, "Yeah, we'd come on your show." And I said, "Well, I'll be there in 5 days." It took me 4 days to get there. I
mhm,
can't interview them in person right in their house and shit, man. And then I just kind of fucking ran with it from there. Here we are today, fucking Boneyard. We got some
right.
loyal fans out there that will be checking out your stuff for sure now. So
I know that two of the members of Tales from the Oracle are in the crowd, so they're checking out and
ah,
showing support. So it's nice to see.
yeah.
Nice to see the fam
If
here.
there's comments, read them out because I can't see the comments because I'm on my phone and not at home, right? So
I see hearts and Ramstein. and that's all that matters to me is
yeah,
I love
yeah, man.
Ramstein.
I love that band too. It's probably it's actually my all-time favorite live band to see, man. I seen them the first time they ever came to North America and played in Toronto at the
Right.
docks at the time. Yeah,
I
it fuck
heard
Did
blew my mind. I heard it on the radio, so I left work. I'm like, I'm leaving, shut it down. Fucking we drove over to Toronto and fucking seen the show, right?
all right, fuck you, boss. I'm out.
Yeah.
I remember my friend
Yeah.
in high school said my friend in high school said, man, I saw Ramstein. Which one is it?
I think it's Rammstein.
Either or potato
Yeah, but
potato.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But he said, man, even if you don't like their music, go to their show anyway. It's worth it
Right.
just for the show. And that's the
Hmm.
thing. Like, if they're that entertaining, then they're doing it right. If you even like, come on, even if you don't like their music, you should go just for the show. It's that good. Like, man,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
entertainment
now
right
that
there.
they're like huge, like when we seen them, they were on a little stage at the docks trying to. The one guy lit himself on fire and stuff like that. But they had little flamethrowers on the guitars and shit. It was a cool
Yeah,
little pyro show. But now, what it takes them a full 60-hour week to set up their stage and shit,
yeah,
right?
no
Like,
kidding, eh?
that
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. I would love to have a live performance like that one day.
would
Like
be
Storm the
insane.
Empire. I don't know how we would have do it, but we'll do it. Like I want like
We'll make it
Teletubbies or
up. I'll
something.
definitely help you.
Like I
If
like the
you need a
Flaming
stage
Lips.
built,
The
yeah.
Flaming Lips have the greatest live performance. I swear to God. Like Wayne will hop in a giant hamster ball and crawl in the crowd while singing. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with
That's
this guy?
cool, man.
Yeah, like people, I don't know. There's some amazing. I think live performance coming back is going to be such a cool thing because a lot of bands have, through COVID, that started through
Yeah.
COVID, have created like that was the only way they could get out there. They had to create some
Hmm.
form of entertaining factor besides their music because that's only a small
Yeah, I'm
fraction of being an
hopefully
artist.
done here to see my first live show with other people on the 14th up in Ottawa at the Maverick. Late Night Trouble, and that's playing. So I've been invited down to go there, and I'm like, then they send me to Thunder Bay, and I'm like, we better have this job done because I'm flying out on the 14th,
Right.
flying to Ottawa. Man, I'll fly back to work, but I gotta go, bud. Like,
Yeah. No, it's true. Uh, I was we were talking to Who we were at that show? Who were we talking to though? There was a promoter there. I can't remember his name at the moment. I have his cards kicking around somewhere.
Oh, is that the dude we were talking to outside when we were about to head out?
Yeah, him. He's a big time. He does a lot of promotion in BC, at least.
Yeah.
And
I remember him if I saw him. But...
yeah, I think his name's Eric something. I can't remember his last name though. For the life of me, I can never remember people's last names. But yeah, he was talking about putting on
names, man.
right. He was going to put on a bunch of shows. So I know that Vancouver, at least the Surrey area, is going to have a lot more live shows coming up in the next few weeks because they managed to keep shows going through COVID. They kind of just adapted with what was happening. So I'm really excited to see what our scene is like in the next 6 months to the next year, I guess, because I think that there's going to be some more venues opening up, hopefully. It would be nice to see because a lot
I'm
shut
hoping
down.
the next year things will slowly open. I don't want them to just kick open the doors and shit at the moment, right? But, slowly take a couple steps in, a couple more steps, see where it goes. I think by the end of the year, we'll be all right doing some outdoor festivals for sure, right?
Yeah.
I've actually got one coming up, my birthday bash. Just booked 3 bands for that show. It's going to be a private invite only from the Boneyard for my side of it, but the place for hosting it has a lot of regulars, and we're only allowed 100 people. So I got to figure out how many he's bringing, and then I'll know how many I can bring, right? So that's going to be good. We got Late Night Trouble, The Electric Dead, and One in the Chamber. So One in the Chamber are local out of Toronto here for us. Late Night Trouble is good friends of mine. They're up out of Montreal. And Electric Dead's coming all the way from Niagara Falls for me. So
yeah, I guess that area would be fun to perform at. I would love to get the BC artists out that way eventually. And vice versa. Like our Montreal artists out this way. Because I think that would be wicked.
Yeah, for sure. I know Max the Millionaire knows quite a few places to set up and have you guys play at for sure. And then I know they would love to go out west for sure. They're always looking to go further and further, tour a little bit more here, a little more there, right? So
yeah, no, for sure.
Between the two of us, we could definitely align or work up something for sure. I don't doubt that.
Exactly. And then Eric's out there as well. He's in Montreal area. So I mean, there's a lot of potential. It's just the Canadian scene itself was dying slowly. So we have to kind of like rebuild it now.
Oh yeah.
Which is
so this is the cool thing and it's gonna be rebuilding it with people like yourself, Rob, and having guests and musicians like Zach playing all the time for us, like you get to kind of hand pick who you're bringing with you in that sense, right? Like
yeah, it's very true.
Who's gonna be part of the new empire of live music again, right?
Yeah, I think the underground scene will get a lot bigger. Like I think with all these new artists and all these new albums coming out, it's just going to flourish. I think it's just going to have a major boom. And then, like, you can see it already, how many bands that started during COVID or just at the beginning of COVID that have been signed to major labels and other labels. You know what I mean? So there's a big push for underground music right now. And that's why I want to push the underground music out and get it heard. So I think there's a lot going to be coming from this end, at least with music videos for Zach and performances slowly when we can get a live band. Because I know that he's looking for some musicians to back him at least for now. And if he can't find any, Norman and I will. So at least he'll be performing one way or another. So
yeah, gotta make it happen. You got that drive and that determination, that's
well, the music.
Plus you do bands. Plus you're in 2 bands, like
I mean, it's just the music's incredible.
You're on Station Head Radio as well, correct?
Yeah, we host. I haven't for the last couple of weeks because I was so busy. I was on set for a film and a bunch of other stuff. So, but I do like a morning metal show on Station Head, and then at night I do stream parties for artists. So basically, I'll put a single song that they want in, and we'll put it in a bunch of times and try and generate a bunch of streams for each other. Teamwork, it
Nice.
works.
Yeah, I always
mean,
try to catch it when you're live. So
it's fun. I mean, Smokey has a wicked show too. He's at Metal Empire Radio. He's more of a radio than I am, as where I'm just like, I like to play songs that I like and talk about them and the bands that they are. So I'm okay with not being as professional as a radio host, because I'm not a radio host. I'm a singer, you know. I just kind of do shit. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes,
do
the
you sing
underground
on your
scene
own
does
stuff
roll.
then too, Zach?
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, do you sing on all your own stuff then too? I haven't had a chance since I've been up here for 9-10 days now, right? So
No, it's all just instrumental. So I kind of I guess you could say I kind of write in a way that the guitar is the theme creator and the voice of every track.
Yeah, that's why I love it.
And it's kind of funny because usually I think the way conventionally you do it is, you come up with the melody first and then you write around it. I have always, for whatever reason, done it the other way around. I've always written the backing part of it, and then after that, I write the melody over top of it, which I guess can kind of make it a little unique in the way that it's structured and the instrumentation and all that stuff. I just find that if you have a really, really good, solid foundation, that it's really easy to get inspired to write an awesome melody for it. I guess that's kind of the way I look at it. But yeah, so that's the long-winded answer of no, there's no vocals.
I might be able to
vocals there.
I might be able to actually play some of his music.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I might be able to. Give me 2 seconds. If my brain's working properly, things were firing. I'm like, hey, we might be able to do this.
Yeah, right. Usually, if I was at home, I'd pull it up on my little Bluetooth speaker, and then we'd be able to play, because I'd be running the stream from my computer, right? But
yeah,
they've got me. I think I'm 1,100 kilometers north of where I live, up working, something like that.
I'm not sure how this will turn out, so I apologize if anything screws up ahead of time.
What track are you going for?
Redemption, I believe.
Yeah, that was the first track I think I've written that I'm actually kind of proud of.
Yeah?
I don't know.
How does that feel to finally write a song that you're proud about?
I mean,
can't hear it. I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it, but I can't hear it. It's kind
of
you
guys hear the song? Oh.
Not really, no.
Can you hear it or no?
No.
No, damn. I was hoping that I could put it on.
I can see myself mouth breathing in the back, though.
You can. There you go. All gone. I was hoping that I could stream it through my side through, but I guess.
Yeah. That was a fun song, though. That's a song where I pulled out one of my older guitars from when I was a teenager, and I just dropped it. I drop tuned it, and I was just playing around with it just for whatever. And then I just kind of came up with this riff, and which is the main theme to that song, Redemption. And then I'm like, oh my God, that's kind of catchy. Like it's a riff that's catchy, not a melody, right? And then I decided to make a song out of it. And then that whole thing kind of came together in like a day, like really quickly. And then I recorded it, and it was just kind of nice to finally have a body of work where it's just like, oh, actually, like this all connects cohesively and actually feels like a song, not just a bunch of ideas that I shoehorned together into 5 minutes of wankery. I try really hard to stay away from doing that. I think I have like 2 or 3 songs that are like that, but I didn't really care that much about them, I guess. But I think all the best songs people write are all songs that are written, they just come to you really quickly. A great example is Cliffs of Dover by Eric Johnson. You've heard that? Have you heard that one?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I always relate to you as the Canadian Eric Johnson. Well, that's not what I
oh,
do now.
anyways, I read about that song that he wrote actually, and he's like, I didn't write the song; it fell on my lap. It wrote itself in like 5 minutes.
Mhm.
And it's just like, well, yeah, I feel like that's just the way it goes when you have something that just comes to you and it just flows and just it's like already written itself almost.
hmm
So it's kind of cool when
Almost
that
brings
happens.
you to it. Like music is a consciousness that floats through the air already, and
Yeah,
it just finds you to bring it to life, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And I
kind of
mean,
cool.
it is, and especially your style, because like you were saying, your voice is the guitar. So when people hear it, they'll understand what we mean, but it's difficult to describe that if they're not experiencing that element,
Yeah,
hmm
because that is the best way to describe it, as listening to a guitar tell you a story. It's hard, it's, I don't know, hard to describe. It's beautiful. Like every song is heavy but beautiful at the same time. And then there's like these
yeah,
oh, I
heavy
can't wait.
parts that are dark and you're like, dang. So I think it's the theory mixed with the skill level mixed with the passion that makes for great music.
yeah, totally. And I think with certain aspects of that, it's really easy to do what I call, or what I've heard, I've heard it called guitar karaoke, where instead of writing an actual piece of music, it's more like you just made a backing track and then just soloed over it for 5 minutes and then called it something. you know that
Yeah.
it's easy to do that and write that, and you know I mean, I think I think in some ways you can make it work really good where you can tell a story with one instrument, but it's also just easy to fall into that, oh, well, I can just cram as many notes per second as possible into this and maybe that'll blow people away. Um, but
hmm
no, I think it's better to make the whole thing like every instrument should sound like a song on its own. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of rambling, but
No,
it's
Hey,
it's
that's
true
all
though.
right,
That's
man.
it's kind of getting into your mind as a musician, right? So
yeah,
kind of a
totally.
cool thing.
But for the untrained, for people who just like listening to music, and don't, play an instrument or study theory or any of that stuff, I think a good song can be listened to by anybody and be appreciated. Like I what I strive for is to be able to write instrumental music where someone who doesn't play an instrument can listen to it and go, like, "Oh yeah, that's a really catchy melody. I like the way that sounds." Like I could dig that.
hmm
Not just, "Oh, well, I'm a guitar player and I'm gonna write music for guitar players to listen to."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, I also want drummers to listen to that and go, "Oh, that's awesome." And bass players to go, "Yeah, that's awesome. I like this bass fill." And then,
hmm
non people who aren't musicians to go, "Oh, yeah, I like the way this sounds." Great production.
Mm-hmm. I think it'd be cool to hear an operatic singer with some of your guitar playing at the same time.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be a cool
Yeah.
thing to hear.
Go full classical.
Well, not even
Oh yeah.
necessarily like
I know a
classical,
few
but like
trained
a female who
classical
can
singers
sing
now.
with a high range of notes, but she's not saying any words because you don't want to
You
take
should
the
check
words to
out
take away from the
Empire
actual
D'Amour.
story. Empire D'Amour?
Yeah. Yeah, out of Montreal, Anna, I believe. her name? We had her on the show for a bit there. She's fantastic. She does like an opera, then heavy. She's got a very amazing vocal range for sure. Your Last Wish, she's pretty good. That's Roxanne out of Your Last Wish. She's
Yeah,
got quite the range. I don't know if she has the opera range though, right? So.
No, I was talking with them a couple weeks ago actually.
Oh, yeah, they're fantastic people, man.
They're pretty self-sufficient. Yeah, they're really talented. Like their guitar players.
Oh yeah, man.
They're wicked. They got a solid sound for sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crazy music out of Montreal. Man, there's so many.
They were actually the second band that came on the show was Empire to More.
Oh, really?
Or not awesome. Empire to More, sorry, a fucking Your Last Wish with Roxanne and George and Dave.
That's awesome.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty solid people.
Yeah, there are. Man, I left my wallet, my passport, everything at their fucking house. They mailed it back to me. Not a problem, but solid people for sure, right? We might have partied a little bit, you know, but
I think that's half of being a musician and being, you know, at least somewhat successful is just being a good hang.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's 50 if not more percent of the gig is just being pleasant to be with, because you never know. You might be in a van with that person for months and months. Oop, voice crack.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing,
right.
Like, you know, you got to be pleasant to be around. You can't be, well, I mean, you're only human. On the other side of things, you're only human, so you can, you know, sometimes things can get to you, but yeah, if someone's a good hang and a good musician and sober for the gig, then, 10 out of 10 right there.
That's the key thing right there. Sober for the gig, man. Man,
I know. I hate playing live drunk. Like I brought my guitar the other night. We were all sitting around barbecuing, having beers. They're I'll play your acoustic. I'm like, dude, I'm so drunk I probably can't even tune it, man. Like, this is gonna sound horrible, bud. Like,
those are the best, because that's when everyone's singing together and they're just like, it's usually when the House of the Rising Sun
nobody cares.
On. Yeah, the House of the Rising Sun.
Sweet Caroline.
Well, boys, yes, man, Sweet Caroline. Every time that comes on. Don't matter what crew you're working with or anything, everybody starts singing it, right?
That or Bohemian Rhapsody. Fuck.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you are. I like one day I swear there's like you're gonna be in an airport or something, and Bohemian Rhapsody is gonna be on the fucking radio, and the entire airport's gonna break out singing. It'll be awesome.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Dude, that's
here's Wonderwall.
Yeah.
No, is there anything you want to say before we wrap up? Because I know I've got to head out here in about 10 minutes.
Me too.
Yeah, I gotta sleep. I gotta be up. We're working every day until we leave.
It's what, 11 o'clock for you almost?
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But we're not allowed to start until 8 in the morning. But we have our safety meeting at 7, and then you get a coffee, a little break, and then, you know, we're on the roof by 8 o'clock.
What kind of safety meeting? Like a legit safety meeting, or y'all just like sit there and smoke weed?
Well, we have our company meeting at 7, and then we have our legit safety meeting at 7:30, and then we're on the roof by then we meet up and go to the roof, right? So
I
roofers are a different breed, man. I'm not a roofer, but we got called in to help, right? So
you gotta
I'm like, I guess I'm a roofer now.
Yeah, I gotta. Roofer then.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go drink a shit ton of beer and pass out in about 10 minutes.
Right? Yeah. No, it's about time for me to pack all my shit up and get ready for some video games.
Right on.
Oh yeah, sweet.
It's time for some green hell.
Yeah. Well, man, it was an honor to have both you guys on. Thanks again, Rob, for coming back on, man.
No worries.
And you'll
If
be
you go-
on quite a few more times. You're gonna come
Yeah,
on and
we're
help me
doing all
co-host.
four.
You got some bands coming, right?
Yeah, we're doing all 4 of my artists. Saturday we have Natty Snaps coming on, and that'll be, I believe, one of your first hip hop artists. And he's got a
Yeah, that'll be
hell of a story. His
nice.
EP album cover, like his album cover for his EP that we're working on, is the day where he was stabbed 11 times. So it'll be a
Ooh,
funny,
Oh wow.
and entertaining conversation because I know the story.
damn.
He's my ex hip hop partner. We spent years working together, so he's a
Oh
crazy
wow.
son of a bitch. This guy, yeah, he's fucking talented as fuck though.
Should-
So he's a
Yeah.
smart ass. I'll warn everyone, he's a smart ass, and he has no filter.
Hey man,
I love him to
I'm
pieces.
cool with
but
that here on the show.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then make sure you guys go to Spotify, Zach Brannon, and check out his latest album. It's fucking incredible. And I will
I'll
post.
be sharing that up.
I'll
Make
post
sure you watch
the-
my story on Facebook. That's kind of where I post up a lot of fucking music.
Mhm.
So I'll be, once I find you there on Spotify, bud, I'll be sharing it up all I can.
I'm gonna
Right on.
share his Facebook in the comments, and then
Ah, sweet man.
find
Thank you
any
so much.
social that they want to follow him on. 'Cause I know everyone's
Yeah,
got different socials.
perfect.
Some people like
Yeah, right.
Instagram, and
I do have a website too. I mean, it's not.
Oh, yeah?
It's no different than my Facebook page, right? It's just I bought a domain, and then just so I can have that extra little bit of legitimacy, right? And you can buy all my
Yep.
music
Yeah.
on there as well. It's just zachbrannon.com.
Oh, nice and easy. Perfect.
Beware, the website does need a little bit of work. Just because I haven't put a whole ton of effort into it, but I've done my best so far. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's got all my YouTube videos on there and all that stuff. I have a YouTube channel with all the music videos I've made. Plus, I've made backing tracks for all you instrumentalists out there if you want to jam to them.
that's dope. I was not
not to
aware of that.
not to my music, by the way. It's just backing tracks that I've made.
That's dope though.
Just for fun. And
Still,
then as well as little collabs I've done with people, and it's a little bit of everything. It's not just my stuff. It's just
Mhm.
for fun,
And
Yeah.
I'm posting
Nice.
your
Well-
YouTube in the comments.
Yeah.
So there's Facebook and YouTube at the
Excellent.
top of the comments for everybody.
Sweet.
Yeah, and I definitely
Perfect.
recommend go check out some of the music because you'll fall in love with it. I promise
I've
you.
got the-
Yeah.
I've got the
promise
whole-
you.
The whole album is streamable all in one video. It's about 30 minutes long.
Yeah, and
Seven-
Yeah.
7 or 8
it's
songs.
Black Skies and Searchlights, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that
Awesome.
name too. It's such a dope name
Yeah,
for an
that is
album.
pretty cool.
It was funny. I came up with that name just like I don't even know where I was like doing laundry, and it just popped into my head. I think I was trying to fill in the blanks for some lyrics to a song that I heard at the time, and
Mhm.
I was like, I was kind of making up lyrics that were crappy, and then one of the lyrics was Black Skies and Searchlights, and I'm just like, that'd be a great album name.
Right.
And I'm like,
And
oh,
it's so
why does-
fitting for Vancouver too.
yeah,
Like right, like the coast, because you've got all the lighthouses and stuff.
yeah.
It's totally
Oh, yeah.
totally feel it totally makes
Well-
me feel of Vancouver.
The album cover is a lighthouse floating on an island in space. So
That's fucking awesome, right?
Imagine that.
Totally
right?
badass.
That's awesome.
Totally badass.
Oh, I can't wait. I'll be checking your stuff out for sure here real soon, man. And then probably tonight we'll have a beer or two.
yeah.
It's mind
But
blowing.
yeah, I'm
I think you'll
exhausted,
enjoy
guys.
Yeah, brother. Thank you
It's been
for
a
having us
long
on.
fucking day, man.
Thank
Oh,
you
of
for
course.
having me on.
Anytime, guys. And then once if you got new stuff coming out or you just want to shoot the shit, Zach, let us know, man. Get in touch with one of us and we'll have you
Sure
back
thing.
on anytime you want.
Right on. Yeah, it's great to be on here.
All
Thanks
right.
for having me.
Oh,
All right,
anytime,
everyone.
man.
Thank you.
Play it loud, play it proud.